Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're doing the 5-item swap challenge between me and Tommy and Miss Kyung. This is Tommy's choice of the 5 items that we're going to do today. I've got mine all chosen. I've got them all prepped up. I'm going to be mailing out Monday. Now, a lot of you said that you wanted to see this done. This file folder piece here that I put in Mom's journal. So I'll have that on the list to do soon. You know how it is. I got to put it on the list and get it in there. But here we go with another little piece that I made for, I guess, through scrapbooking with me. I'm trying to remember how this worked. It was a flip up. This is just a piece behind it. That was from the kit that I have in here, the Secret Garden. But I believe this was like a tuck here. Oh, no, it flipped open. I'm sorry. I glued it down as a tuck. That's how we did it. Okay. Then it folds open this way, and it folds open this way. Yeah. I believe Miss E from Scrapbooking with Me came up with this. Now, I got in here and I did some, that was some heat embossing with a chain kind of a look, because I had this bird cage here and I wanted to do that. I had a few little die cuts, I guess they were. Some pieces from some of the freebie papers that she gave us. I did this as a heat emboss. I cut this dragonfly out. If they were let to fly away, I'm not sure. That was Tim Holt's words. We did it on book page as well. That's what her idea was. I thought this color in this background went really well with this paper, so that's why it got put down here. I'm sneaking to see what's on the rest of this. Okay, there's nothing here. And, okay, this isn't that big of a deal here. This is one of those pockets that you can pre-make ahead of time. And it's you put it on a base. Let's see, the base is about, let me find out. The base is about a 5 by 7? Yes, 7.5. 5 by 7.5. And all you do is you'll take pieces of paper and rip them. And what happened to me was, I believe, because you can see, oh, yeah, that's right side up. I took and I ripped them. And then I'll have another piece up here. And I think I made one that came from the top down and you tucked in as well. But there's 2 pockets here. You'll glue this one down first with an L glue. And then you'll glue that one down with an L glue. And then you can hide the base down here with some pretty trim or piece of paper, whatever you would choose. So, I thought that was a couple of good ideas for you. I'll have to figure out what this one was called. I don't know if I ever saved it. The only way I can tell you what something was called is if I put like a little flippy thing down here and told you what it was. But some of this is my really early work, and I didn't do that. You know. I was just in the joy of creating, you know. All right, so let's empty this little bag here. See what all she had in it. I think I've got more bows in there. Yeah. So this is the bag she sent it in. Now, the rules are you're to use 5 items. And we have a coffee filter. We have this trim here. And then we have 2 pieces of wood. She sent these 4 bows. The 2 pieces are a heart and I guess you call it a tongue depressor or something. And then there's a little tiny thing of tickets. So she said you were to choose what 5 you wanted to use. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items basically. I guess these are considered 1. I don't know. I think we're only supposed to use 1. You can use the bag that it's sent in, and you can use the washi tape that is also on here. I'm saving the bag for a future project, so I'm going to carefully get the washi tape off of there. And I'm going to substitute. You can also substitute. I'm not much of a blingy person, so I'm going to take that and substitute it for this. Yeah, the butterfly. This is from Transparent Things from, I'm trying to grab the container down here, Transparent Things. And it's got all these different butterflies in it and that kind of stuff. Some like see-through items you can put in your journal. It kind of adds an interesting touch. So you can kind of see items through there. And paper you're able to use. If you have paper or tags or whatever, you can use your inks, you can use your sprays. I'm guessing you can even use your embossing powders and such, because I'm going to use that today. So this is how I'm planning on doing it. I'm going to get all of this to the side. We're going to get the splat box out first to spray this, and we'll get everything ready. Little did I know that that heart had this on the other side of it. It's a little cardinal, but I don't think it's going to go with my theme. So we're going to turn it around and we're going to actually spray that. I've chosen green peeled paint, spray stain. I have a peacock feathers to give that little hint of blue, and we're going to grunge it up just a tad to give it a vintage feel with vintage photo spray. So let's get in there and do a little bit of spraying here. We may actually go to the other side. I probably have to do a little bit of, let's see about that. Whoop. Let's see how that sucks that in, because sometimes wood items will suck it in. I really want to thank everybody for coming to visit and seeing what I'm going to do today. You never do know. I never do know. It's just like that. All right, and we've got a little bit of blue going here. I don't want much. I need some blue to bring in the color of that bow. Because it's got a really light blue. Oh, we'll see how it goes. You never do know. Looks like I may be doing a little bit of spraying here to move the water some more. Oh, and some drying. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, I did this the other day as I was prepping my five item challenge to send out to the girls. And I did where I just dabbed it off. And I really liked the way it looked. Actually, I dabbed it off on a piece of paper. This paper. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. I might be putting some more layers on here. And I can use this paper for something later on. As you can see, it's coming through to the other side. I think this is going to be a journal card. I basically have thought that that's what it would be. I'm not that crazy about the coloring here. What do you think? I think I need some lightening up. Or a little yellow. Maybe yellow. Alright, I pulled out my scattered straw spray stain. Let's see if this will brighten it. Oh, yeah. It's definitely adding a yellow, which, you know, he's a yellow butterfly. So you almost need the yellow in there. Okay. Let's see what a little bit of water does to this. It looks like he's got the chicken pox almost. There's so many. Oh, I think it's taking this color in from behind it here. Where it's soaked into the paper towels. I had that problem on another project I was doing. And I never realized that. I do want some more of this stern yellow, though. If I can't get it pointed right. Maybe that's what we'll do. And we'll just leave it on there. Alright. Now, what I'm going to try to do is to just spray it. I'm going to heat it a little bit. And then I'm going to spray it with a little bit of water. And we're going to see if that'll pull some of this color back off of here that I'm not that crazy about. Yeah. We did need a base. We needed some kind of a base. Okay. Now, let's dry it just a little bit. And then we'll get in here and see what we can do. I do need to spray that some more. I got another idea for that. it's wet. You pick it up, the heat will go through it better, so if you're needing it to dry a little faster, just do that. It is very rustic looking, isn't it? Any of the oxide sprays, they will sit right on top of your other colors. So I have a tendency of getting a lot of the spray stains instead. I kind of like them better. The only part about the oxides that is great is especially when you have a pad, is that they will are very creamy and will combine really well. When you go to get water on them, they have that milky look that will come out of them every single time. And I'm never usually happy with that. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to give us a little bit of a squirt here and see if it will take a little bit of that paint off. You can see where I was working on my 5-item swap. You know, purple's involved. Oh gosh, I was trying to figure out some of that spray stain or mica spray, and I was trying to figure out. Oh, I'm supposed to be drying it first before I do that. And I was trying to figure out which color of the purple would go good. I think I need a big drip, so yeah, like that. Sometimes the misting is just too misty. Yeah, proper tutelage there. Yeah. Gosh, it's going straight through. It's not it's not soaking in and making my little crater puddle that I'm wanting. Oh, rats. Oh, well, I guess we'll do what we got to do. Let's dry it a little bit. Okay. Sometimes getting just the right look that's in your head does not always work. See that oxide? Yeah. You can see that milky look from that oxide, and I've never been a fan. Okay, so I guess that's all we're going to do with that. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I want to use this stamp here, which is like a scroll design. There's actually 2 of them on this foreboding, and I never did use it. I don't believe I used it back at Halloween time, so I want to use it now. I'm going to stamp with some clear embossing gel onto this card. And all I want to do is put it on here. And then I'm going to use a pretty gold to go with the, the butterfly theme, the golds and the yellows and that kind of thing. So we're going to just kind of put a scroll design all over it. Just willy-nilly. Doesn't have to have any kind of a, design to it. You probably want to put it where it's actually going to be seen, because the butterfly is going to mostly be here. So we're going to make it where, and then you could stamp off the side if you would choose. You don't have to have it all on here. I need to put a little up in that corner, so let's do that little bit up here, like that. And then I need a little bit, I think, on that corner. So let's take this piece. And that's just going to add interest to our background. Like that. Yep. Now to get in there with the embossing powder. And I'm using Recollections detail embossing powder in gold. And I'm getting down to almost halfway, so I've been using this stuff up. And I'm using Celeste's Idea. Miss Celeste, thank you, with the paper plate. I think I'm using it right. I'm always getting this stuff all over. So I saw her using a paper plate, and she actually used the coffee filter, but hers was the other type, not the type that we're using here for our project. All right. There. And since this is mostly dry, I don't have to worry about, my problem I usually have, where the embossing powder will stick to it's usually the oxide, I believe. And since we hardly use any, I'm clear sailing today. All right. Celeste does it with a whole lot more finesse than I did. So let's get the heat gun over here and get this to turning. Get that down in there. And you'll be able to see how this turns. There we go. I usually will go underneath just a little bit, just to warm that side up, because it makes this side go a whole lot faster. There she goes. And it's going to be a shine, so if you don't see shine, keep putting the heat to it. It's bowing a little bit, as you can see, but I've got another one of these cards that I'm going to glue it down to, so it'll help straighten it out. Whee! This thing is warped. Anytime you add water to anything, it's going to really, really warp it. Oh, okay. But it makes it pretty. Pretty. Alright. I think she's done. Now we're going to get in here and glue it to this one. And then we can always ink this one on the back. I'm going to leave the lines out, I think. Yeah, I think so. I mean, why not? That gives them a guide on where to write. And I've got some powder on here. I get that powder everywhere. It wants to haunt me. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Get a little bit of this and we'll push it out. That's why I've still got it on this piece of paper, because I'm going to use my bone folder to press it out to the edges. Get a good seal. Oh. If I can guide it. I just went off like a drunk off the highway. Oh, all right. Now, push that back on there. Try to push it out of the puddle already made. Let's try to stick it on here. It can always be cut down. Sometimes your paper will shrink, like where I've been embossing it or spraying it. It will shrink a little bit, so you may want to trim the edges once you get done here. Well, I could have put it on there straight, but I guess I didn't. I guess we'll be trimming it more than I needed to. Oh. And if this does not firm it up enough for you, you can always put it under a book, something along those lines, and really get it to mash flat. Okay. My bone folder needs to be clean now. Alright, let's see what we got. What are we working with now? We got some trimming to do. Then we got to get on with our project. Inking can be done after the fact. It doesn't have to be done now. Ooh. It's gumming up my scissors. Now, the other side. Oh, look, I have a big gap. And you might want to go around with your fingers as well. I usually will do that as a backup. Yeah. Here we go. Now I needed to trim this down here because I didn't even get it on here straight. There she goes. I was going to tell you about my cemetery hunts a little bit. Everybody seems to like these crazy stories. Anyhow, so we will go out and look at the cemetery stones and such. And did you know that there's actually a story on the stone itself? If you see any of the old cemeteries, any of the old stones, you'll notice that they have different items on the fronts. I'm going to take a little bit of this and see if I can rub it on here to dull down this green. But yeah, you can find out quite a bit. I don't know if you've seen any of the wood. Like they've got something called Woodmen of the World. It's a club. I'm sure they're still out there because there's one down Harrisonburg way, where I live. There's actually we call it a clubhouse. There's actually one down that way. So anyhow, and I'm going to take a little bit of this. I need to squirt some on something. Let's squirt some on this. And yeah, there's actually a place down there where they actually still meet. So these Woodmen of the World, I'm not sure what their motto is. I know the Oddfellows are one of the older groups that you can join. The Masons are as well. Because my grandfather, he was a Mason. He joined over in Wayne County, West Virginia. And oddly enough, my father is a Mason. He's a brick mason. So I don't know if that played anything in his role of becoming a brick mason. I don't think it did, because he had these guys that took him in. He quit school at about 14, and they were teaching him how to make some money on the side, or just as a helper. He became one of the most renowned brick masons in this area. But anyway, back to the cemetery stones. And I'm just going around the outside here while I'm chatting with you. But if you see a bird on the stone, that stands for eternal life and peace. And one of the most known birds you'll see is doves. They're what are mostly put on a gravestone. And if you see a bird that is flying, that is a symbol of rebirth. You have the 3 chains. I was mentioning the Oddfellows. If you see 3 links of a chain on their stone, that is the Oddfellow symbol. And then if you see a, what do they call that? It's a square and compass with a G in the middle of it. That is for the Masons. It's a Masonic symbol. And that lets you know that they were part of that organization while they were alive. You have columns that are sometimes found on the stones, and they're a symbol of a deceased that lived a noble life. Then you have hands. Hands are another. You see so many hands on the stones over there in West Virginia, on handmade stones at that. There are quite a few people that did their own stones for community or family or such. My great uncle, Harrison Salmons, he did that. He made quite a few. Only problem is he made some one time for the family and he forgot where they were buried. So the stones went back to his house. Oh, I know. Rats. I was going to use some more of that on here. What did I do with it? There it is. But anyhow, when you have the hands, if they're clasped together, I guess, like that or something, it's farewell and the hope of meeting again. And if you have a finger pointing up, it's a pathway to heaven. If you have a finger pointing down, it's calling the earth to witness. I don't see that one as often. Usually the one pointing up I see a lot. The hands reaching is usually the hand of God reaching down from the heavens. And then you have oak leaves. You have a lot of stuff to do with oaks and oak leaves and such. And their power, their authority, their victory, they have a lot of meanings, often seen on military graves as well. It's faith and virtue and endurance. You have a tree trunk. Now, this is the woodmen of the world I was discussing a little bit ago. They will usually have whoops, a tree trunk. And if it's a trunk, it's the brevity of life. And if you have a branch that's severed, it's a symbol of mortality. You also have a weeping willow, and they're usually, it's perpetual mourning and grief. Okay, now I got a coffee filter in this, and I could not think of what to do with this filter. I almost substituted it for something. And then I thought, well, no, let me take and make it like a backdrop for my butterfly here. And as you can see, I did that. What I did, I used this for his center body, and I went like right here, and I just started cutting around it. Kind of like that. And I just try to make it about the same distance all the way around. Just like that. Then I went on down here and made sure I cut down to the edge and cut this edge because that would open it up. And then you have a little rougher rendition than the one I did. This one's a little smaller, but could still be used. And what I was going to do with it was, I wanted to do a little bit of a stain on the outside edge, like I did before. Let me see if I can find that. I think we'll do this instead. This is Specimen Mica Spray, or stain. I got that back at Halloween, and I think I'll just spray them around the outside edge like that. Not much, just a little bit to get the coffee filter look away from it. And then we'll take care and glue that down under the butterfly. Okay, this is how it turned out. It's a little glittery, not much. It's almost sinking into the coffee filter. But here's that little piece I had at the back. But what we're going to do is take our Barely Arts glue. I'm going to actually glue this piece down first, just so it's not quite in my way. And push that down. Now let's see where this is going to be. Is it going to be right there? I have my tape over here that's from the envelope, which is free to use from my understanding. And I'm going to bring it in from the side and glue it down kind of like right there along the bottom edge. Let's see, maybe up just a little bit so I don't cover my edge down here. It's got the pretty gold on it. And then just do a little wiggle. Oops. How far did I need to go over? Just a little bit more. So I'm going to leave that edge like that. Keep going just a little bit further. Whoa, oh, I did I did a little bit too far. Okay, that works. It gives you a little bit of more of the brown to look at. These two pieces, sorry Tommy, they're too mangled. I gotta let them go. All right, so let's get on the back here and put our glue down. I don't know if I need to do this as fabric tack or this. I don't know. Let's see if I can get away with it using this, because this filter seems to be really sucking in any kind of liquid that's hitting it. You know, I'm a tea drinker. I don't drink coffee, so I haven't encountered a filter that often. All right, oops. Set that on the side. All right, let's go and put him down right here. Okay. Now I had these tickets. What was I going to do with these tickets? I did want to kind of put them maybe something like that at an angle. And at first I thought I was going to put them under, but I may put them over. I really like some of the images. I love the eye chart here. Check that out. I am going to cut off the top. And it may be that the bottom gets cut off as well. We may do it like that, so it's kind of a little bit over on either end. So let's go ahead and glue that. And that's what brought me to the idea of using the butterfly here, which of course is one of those things I need to use up. But the one butterfly on here really resembles this one. That one right there. So it kind of helped me choose. All right, I'm going to stick that right there. Go down across everybody. Push it down. Give it kind of a rustic look. We're going to also wipe that off so we can trim it. Okay. Trim that off. Trim that off. Gosh, I done got some paint on the back side of this thing. Where did that come from? I guess it came from my finger. That's okay. We'll ink it up or something. I don't think I can erase it with this. No. We'll put something in the center there to try to hide it. Okay, so everything is down except for a butterfly. So let's get him going. I'm just going to put some around the outside edge. Actually, I think I could put it about anywhere on here. I don't think it's going to show. Whee. Yeah, so it's always interesting to go to your cemetery and look at some of the really old stones. Now, see, where I live, Stanton, Virginia, we have this old cemetery. It's even got some Civil War soldiers that are buried there. There's a section for them. And then you have all these tall spire type of monuments that are in a lot of the different places through the old section. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put this on the butterfly. Now, hopefully, does this come apart? I think there's a little bit of, there's something holding that together, isn't there? Let's see if we can fix that. I don't think I've got that much blue on it, on this base as I had intended to have. Okay, let's... Did I get in there and get it? I can't tell. Isn't that something? I got something holding this together. Let me figure it out. Ah, I got it. I had to stick those scissors way up in there and start clipping away. So that's what it was. I had a little string in there, tacking it all together. So my idea is to go down this way and come up. I guess that's going to add a little bit of color on my page. I guess that's how I should look at it. So we're going to go in here, pull that through. Yeah, my grandfather, he was one of the Masons over there in the Masonic Lodge of Crum. And they actually have records, so you can go in and find records that'll list them, you know, attending. They have to pay dues. So that was one of the most important things. My buddy, Herbie Dawson, he's the one that figured out who our Markhams were in the scheme of things over there. Anyhow, so what he did is he went into the records, and I think he looked for my grandfather's name. and I think he was considered GC on the records over there. But he paid I think through the early through the 20s he paid. But then when you got up to 1930 and 1932, I think after 1932 he didn't pay anymore, because in 1930 they moved over here. So that was the biggest clue that we knew that that was him, and that helped to cement it in, because I knew when they moved over. Okay, that's that's what we're doing to our bow there. We're going to cut a little bit more off of there so it's kind of even with the other one. And we're going to glue this down. And I'm going to use fabric tack. I'm not using my Barely Arts because I'm going against this slick butterfly. So, did I get all my clues accomplished here? Okay, I don't want to put so much that it's going to goo out. I don't want that. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this little butterfly with a little heart on him. Right there. Get all my goodies out of the way while it's setting. I don't think it's going to set anytime soon. But anyhow, you got the gist of it. All right. It's a little on the wrinkly side. I may stick it under a book or some weights, or go back under my edges where I need to add a little bit more Barely Arts glue to help it out. See, there's a little spot there. It's came up. So that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Some more maintenance on it. That blue bow kind of stands out, doesn't it? Oh, well, I want to remind everybody, if you haven't gone over to put in a comment about how you met me or how you found out about me, that kind of thing. And as a bonus, you can tell me maybe what kind of a video you might want to see in the future. I did a flip through of this in my last video. And you can see me making this in the one before that has the celebration in caps. That's it. I didn't want to put subscriber giveaway because everybody and their brother will come over that don't even watch me or care about it. And I wanted it specifically for my watchers and subscribers. Okay. So anyhow, yes, go and check that out and see if you want to subscribe. I mean, not subscribe. But yes, if you want to subscribe, that'd be wonderful. But if you would like to participate in this drawing, it's going to be drawn on the 8th. You've got to the 7th at midnight to leave me a comment on that one video. So thank you. Go to the celebration video is what I mean. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody have a great, great day. And get out there and do you some swapping. Thank you. Bye-bye.